Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Ship and Read. Today I'll be doing my February ARC reading vlog. So February I have a lot of books. Once again, I'm only gonna pick like 2 or 3 of them max, but I have a lot of February books that are coming out and I'm hoping to get through at least 2 of them, ideally 3 of them. We'll see how that goes. But I have a few physical books I have picked out, and then I have a bunch of NetGalley. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's honestly like 6 or 7 of them, and I'm only planning to read like 2 or 3 of them, and I do at least want to pick up 1 physical book. So I was like, I don't even want to go through all of them in case I don't even pick them up. But yeah, let's just kind of go through my physical books at least. So the first one that I feel like this is the one that I will probably read the most likely for me to read, and that is The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. This is about a woman who decides to clone herself, and her husband decides to somehow like cheat with her clone. I feel like at this point I'm like, I've said this synopsis so many times, I'm wondering, I'm like, did the husband like even do this on purpose? Because I mean, they are literally the same person, they're clones, that I'm like, he probably didn't even realize that they are clones, like she is not her, you know what I mean? So I'm just like super curious how this will pan out. But then of course I don't know if she kills her husband or whatever happened, but her husband is now dead and now she's cleaning up the mess. Definitely out there, but really intriguing. So yeah, we'll see. This is definitely high on my list to read. Then I have over here Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. This is a galactic book. That's all I really know. It says over here, it's a galactic empire rests in the slippery hands of Emperor's least favorite grandson and a widower accused of murder. And their successful marriage will align conflicting worlds, but their failure will be the end of the empire. I'm definitely intrigued by this. I feel this is a sci-fi romance, more on the romance side versus the sci-fi side, at least from the synopsis it seems that way. But yeah, I'm definitely intrigued with this one, but this is kind of a chunker, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if I have a lot of books to read this month, and I don't know if I really want like a really thick book. Then the last book that is also on my TBR potentially is The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. It says over here that Station 11 meets the fifth wave in a genre-smashing story of survival, hope, and love amid a ravaged Earth. So I'm assuming this is kind of like a dystopian book in a way, and they're just surviving. So that is the impression I've got. This is also a thick book, but I feel like the text is like super big, that doesn't seem as big as it actually is, but I'm intrigued. So to be honest, out of the 3 books, I think the one I'll pick up the most for sure is The Echo Wife over here. Other 2 I'm not entirely sure, but I do have a ton of NetGalley books as well. You know what, actually let me just kind of go through them very quickly because I think there's like a few of them. I don't really know all the synopsis, so I'm just gonna go through like the title of them. So I have my laptop over here. Okay, it says over here I have 6 NetGalley books. So I have City of the Uncommon Thief by Lynn Bertrand. I know this is like a young adult fantasy, and that's really all I know. Then I have Stormbreak by Natalie C. Parker, except the thing is I haven't read the other books in the series, so I can't really read that one. Then we have We Are the Fire by Sam Taylor. And the next one over here is The Wide Starlight by Nicole Lesperance. And then I have The Valley of the Flood by Rebecca Mahoney. Then the final book I have on here is A Shadow War by Lindsay Smith. So there's definitely a range of books on here. I want to say some of them are fantasy, some of them are sci-fi, most of them are young adult. But yeah, I feel like I have a good selection of books to read, so to pick 2 or 3 of them shouldn't be a big deal. It's just a matter of which ones I want to read. But I have a lot of books that's coming out in February that I really want to get to. So anyways, this is the intro for a reading vlog, and hopefully I will get to reading and I'll let you guys know what I think of the book that I picked up. Okay, so just wanted to jump in, give you guys an update. I haven't updated you guys in quite some time now, but I have managed to read quite a bit of this book over here, which is Echo Wife. I am now on page 182, and it is weird. So basically this book follows a woman who, actually I don't know if I talked about this already, but basically this book follows a woman who ends up divorcing her husband because her husband has been cheating on her for the past year or 2 with her clone. And so upon finding out, obviously she is very, very upset about the whole situation, but also like not, because she's also very busy with her job. She's a very successful scientist, a geneticist, like she is known for cloning, like the whole process of it all. And so to be perfectly honest, she has also been neglecting her marriage. She doesn't really give her husband enough attention, enough time, because she's been very focused on her job and her career and her success. And so anyways, point is, she finds out that her clone is sleeping with her husband, and her husband has been cheating on her. And then after she finds out about what's going on, one day the clone ends up calling her and asking her if she can, you know, have a drink, just meet and talk for a little bit. And she's like, I don't know, but she decides to go and see what's up. And it turns out that the clone is pregnant, which is actually impossible. This is something that she has never done with her experiments before, any of her specimens, as she called them, because it's actually very highly unethical for a clone to actually like reproduce and have their own like choices and lives and everything, because the whole point of the clone for her science is actually for them to just create someone, a clone, like a body double essentially. So it's very much like, end of the day, like the original is in charge and in control. So the fact that this clone is pregnant, she's like completely thrown off guard and not really sure what's going on, like how did this happen. And then things happen and the clone ends up talking to her husband and they get into an argument, and then suddenly the clone ends up calling her and telling her to come over because something has happened. And it turns out their husband, or her ex-husband, the clone's current husband, is now dead. And so now they're just trying to pick up the pieces, figure out what to do next. And that's kind of what the book is about. It is interesting, like I said already. I feel like part of me is like, what the fuck is going on? There's definitely so many like I don't think any of the characters are particularly likable. I feel like there's a lot of like conspiracies in a way. Like I'm thinking totally about like, you know, like iRobot, where like the robot completely like goes off the rails and kind of like deviates from its programming, etc. And here I am thinking that the clone will actually do something similar. Like the way how things are progressing right now, I'm like, I feel like something will happen. And I mean, first of all, she's already pregnant, which is like not even possible for clones. And second of all, like the way how the book is progressing and the way how this clone is like developing her personality, I'm like, something seems suspect. And I feel like before long, you know, the clone will end up taking over like the original. And I don't know, I'm completely like just going off on my thoughts here, but yeah, I feel like this book is just weird. It's definitely interesting though. Like I definitely see, like, it's very intriguing. That's all I can say about this book. And the original person obviously is just so unlikable. I mean, I can totally see why her husband ended up giving up on her, because she's very like, she's one of those women who's just very, very self-absorbed with herself. Not like she's thinking that she's better than anyone, but at the same time she thinks that she is, because she's incredibly smart, very successful, very self-made, all that stuff. And I guess like her personality really reflects that on the people around her and like the way how she interacts with them. So I can kind of see why her husband was like, you're not really there for me, and why the husband decided to like kind of move on away, but like not really, because he still really loved the wife. So that's kind of my thoughts about this book right now. I'm definitely going to finish this book soon. I'm hoping to finish it by tonight, by this weekend for sure, because it's actually going to be a readathon happening, which I'm going to do a separate reading vlog. I think I'm going to do that. I'm not really sure yet. The plan is for me to do that, so we'll see. But yeah, so far that's all I can say for this book, and I'll check back in later once I read some more. But it's good so far. I wouldn't say it's like amazing or anything, but it is pretty decent. So before I forget to actually update this vlog, because I'm actually doing another vlog right now, but I do want to give an update on The Echo Wife. I did manage to finish this book last night. I ended up giving this book 2.5 stars. I was waffling between 2 and 3 stars, and I decided to just do 2.5. This book was interesting. The ending was definitely unexpected. I definitely did not expect the way how the book ended. It was just different. Like I had so many theories at some point in this book and they were all wrong. So, you know, but the way how this book continued and the way how the book ended definitely caught me off guard. And it was just kind of crazy how certain things happened and certain things were revealed. I was like, what the fuck? But I mean, I still enjoyed it. It just wasn't amazing or anything like that. I just really invested in the story just because I wanted to see like what would happen. And I felt like if my theory was correct, it would have been like super entertaining, but obviously it was wrong and I was wrong. That being said, I still ultimately enjoy this book. It just wasn't the way how I wanted things to end, essentially. But yeah, that's what to say for this very quick update on this book. And now I have to go and continue on with my next ARC book, which I haven't really decided yet, but there's a very good chance that it will be this book over here, which is The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. All I know, this is like a dystopian book and kind of like about survival, and that's really all I know. But I'm really intrigued by it for sure. It's kind of a chunky read, but it seems like it'll go fast as well. because it's very like action packed. I hope. I feel like survival books are usually very action packed, so that's kind of what I'm assuming. But anyways, that is it in terms of this update, and I will check back in once I get to more reading. Okay, so I wanted to just give you guys an update before I forget to give you guys an update. I don't think I've updated you guys since The Echo Wife when I finished it, but I have managed to start 2 books, and I think those are all the books I'm going to be reading for this vlog. This is not the end of the vlog, by the way. Just a quick update. So I am currently reading The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. I am on page 244, so I have made quite some progress with this book already. This book basically follows, it's like a post-apocalyptic book. It's dystopian. It's kind of like Lord of the Flies, but instead of like that kind of survival kind of book, it's literally flies or like bees that swarms and basically kills off all living creatures. So as of right now, the population is basically very minimal. Everyone's just trying to survive and escape and hide from the swarm whenever they come, and it's a struggle. And the book basically follows between 2 main characters. One is Kit, who's 12 years old. He was born after the swarm happened. And another one is Nico, who is 15, who was born like right before it occurred, before the end of the world. And it's kind of interesting to kind of see like how those 2 perspectives start off in very different paths, and then kind of as they continue the journey, they kind of meet up. And I'm at the point where they had just met up. They're starting to get to know each other along with all the other kids that they're with, and there's also this like mysterious disease going on. Not entirely sure what that is, to be honest. I have some speculations and some theory about it, but as of right now, I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, this book is just okay for me. It's not super engaging. I am curious to find out like what exactly is going on. There are some like mentions and theories about I can't say anything because it's spoilers, but I'm definitely curious, and I feel like that's the main reason why I'm continuing with it, even though honestly like this book is just not like, it's not the most like intense book. And I feel like for dystopian, I picture like a big adventure, a lot of action, and that isn't necessarily the case with this book. That being said though, I am still intrigued and I still want to continue. I'm hoping to finish the book like sometime tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah, but that's kind of my thoughts for this book. And then in terms of the other book that I did start, I did actually pick up We Are the Fire as an ebook, and it's just on my Kindle over here. This one I am only 6% of the way through, and unfortunately I am actually going to DNF it because I have tried to read this book for the past 2 or 3 days, and it is incredibly slow going. I just don't have the energy or the focus to really read it. I feel like every time I pick it up, I read like a page, like a Kindle page, maybe 2, and then I'm just like not really interested in continuing with it. I get easily distracted and I just like don't really know what's going on. It's a fantasy book. It's basically about, at least from what I understand so far, it's about like there's these goblins and these imps, and there's like 2 main characters. I feel like they are part of some sort of like army. They're soldiers and on patrol, and then this whole rebellion, something happens, a riot happens essentially, and then they go and try to help stop it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's really not much has happened. I really don't know too much in terms of what this book is about. I was expecting something like super intense, very action-packed. Again, it's like a YA fantasy, and I feel like for me, I like books that are just, you know, like engages me right from the start, or like somehow keeps me interested either with the writing or the characters or the plot. But I feel like in this case, none of them have really engaged me. Like the 2 characters, there's like, I don't even know what's going on. I feel like the world building and the writing style is really hard to get into. It's really hard for me to figure out like how the world's set up, to be honest. And I feel like there are descriptions, but there's also not descriptions. It's really hard to explain, but I just like can't get into it. So anyways, point is, I'm actually going to DNF this book pretty early on, but one of my biggest goals for 2021 is just to like put down books earlier than before, where I would try to read and I was like, I don't want to say like waste time, but like kind of waste time, because I'll read like, you know, 100 pages, 200 pages, or like, you know, an hour or 2 hours of audiobook, and I feel like I'll get to that point, I'll be like, oh, I don't want to read this. But like, I feel like I've learned about myself is that once I get to that point and I'm still not interested in it, I actually already knew that like way early in advance. Like that hasn't changed the entire time, so it becomes such a struggle for me to actually get to that point. So I'm like, what's the point of trying to read so much and try to give this book a fair chance if I already knew this going in, like way ahead in advance? I could have spent like my time to read something else. So that's kind of where I'm at right now for 2021. So I'm going to DNF it, and then yeah, that's kind of it for that book. I'm honestly very disappointed because I was expecting something really good, but it is what it is. But I am going to try to finish this book, and hopefully I will be able to finish this book sometime by tomorrow, I guess already, and then I'll come back with an actual update, and then I'll close out the vlog. But yeah, anyways, that is it with this update. Not the greatest, but anyways, I am super tired if you can't tell already. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Okay, so just coming on quickly to finally finish my February art reading vlog, and the fact that I managed to finish reading Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. It was just okay. I don't know, it's like a weird dystopian apocalyptic kind of world, and this book ended up being kind of weird to me. Like, I felt like the book had one direction for most of this book, and then suddenly like 3/4 of the way in, it completely went on a tangent, especially the very end. Like the last like 50 or so pages, I was like, what is going on here? I felt like it just became so confusing for me, and I was not expecting it. And all I can say is that this cover makes a lot more sense now, and I also feel like the conclusion was one of those very vague conclusions, which I like already said so many times in so many videos I am not a fan of. I like conclusions that are very, you know, like concrete. This is what happens, this is the end, etc. That was not the case with this book at all. It's very much kind of like, this is kind of what happens, and kind of like your interpretation of things, and I don't know, I am not a fan of those type of endings. So the ending definitely was not my favorite. So I don't know, I feel like this book was just weird. I definitely got confused, and the ending, yeah, that's all I can say about this book, guys. But yeah, that's what I say for this video. It's a very short, quick video, I think, but let's just leave a recap on the books that I read. The first book that I read was The Echo Wife, which I ended up giving 2.5 stars, and then I also picked up We Are the Fire, which I DNF'd. Unfortunately, I was very disappointed. It sounded like it had such a good premise, and I had such high expectations going into it, but I was so bored. And then the last book that I finished was The Electric Kingdom by David Arnold, which I gave 3 stars. So that's kind of all to say for this video. As always, if you do like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. It does really help out my channel. And if you'd like to see more content of me, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you'd like to follow me as well, please do follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!